lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any agenda revisions?
No, sir, not to see.
Okay. We will move on to Sheridan Showcase.
So soon, that's us. All right, so I brought some friends here today to kind of demonstrate a little bit about what we do in STEM. And they love making Mickey, which is one of the things we're going to share with you today. And then our goal is to let all of you guys play also, if you want to, later. So a little bit about STEM class. We do a lot of technology and computer science related tasks. And boys, you want to share what your favorite one is? The doodle pens. So we use what's called the 3 doodle pens. Those are kind of kid-friendly ways to introduce 3D printing. And it allows them to draw, and Ryan is going to demonstrate in just a little bit if he wants to. So that's kind of what we do with the younger kids. And then as they get older, we move on to the 3D printing where they get to create images on Tinkercad. And then we send it to the 3D printer and they get to take that home. What about you? What's your favorite?
Almost everything.
Everything? Good answer. Good answer. How about you? Robots? Okay, so that's something else we get to do. We do Spheros, Dash robots, and then we also start with the kid-friendly ones where you just use the remote to move forward. And with the Dash robots, they get to code with them. So we use block coding to get the Dash robots to move. Ryan, you want to show what the 3D printer works, or the 3D doodle pen is? So,
You want to go, why don't you go right over there and show right in front of certain people you know too. Teach him. Yes.
See if you can show me how to do it. Well, speak up so everybody can hear.
So you turn this button on,
Okay,
then you wait for this light saying to turn green.
okay.
Whenever it turns green, you press the orange button and then this plastic comes out and melts it.
Oh, okay. So, okay, so you're right on that side. All right, so I'm waiting for the green light. Oh.
and so they get to make like Christmas ornaments with those. They can build towers with them also.
That's pretty simple.
So that
Yeah, you can make
they
that.
can.
That 3D prints?
That's just the pen, so it
Oh,
takes the
okay.
plastic. So that's how we kind of introduce the concept of 3D printing, how it uses plastic, it melts the plastic, and then with that melted plastic, you're able to create buttons, or you're able to create models, or you're able to
Rubbery.
create, second grade, we talked about how doctors can use that to make implants, or things like for your arms, or things like that to, casts can be made, casts can be made. With that. So we just kind of talk about that, and then they get to build the Tinkercad. So this is what the kids love the most, though, because I don't know, because it's free, it's creative, and it's kind of a fun way to get the idea of 3D printing and like how it all works. And then they also get to see on the 3D printer how they think it looks great on the CAD program, and then they print it, and they realize they're trying to print it in air, and gravity's going to have it fall as a liquid, and you have a big blob. So we talk about that kind of stuff too. And then Makey Makey's also a really big hit in STEM. We spend a little bit of time talking about circuits and how the energy can be used through computer programs, or how we can transfer energy. Yeah. How energy transfers different ways. So we kind of talk about how metal transfers energy, the human body transfers energy, Play-Doh, energy can transfer through. But we try to make it fun with the video game. So with this, Rhett, you want to kind of teach a little bit about the circuits? Circuit board?
Well, like, let's set it together.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to play with it.
So what you'll need is this computer, one computer, this USB cord that has this to connect into one of these. Now, 6 of these. And I just put a piece of tape right here so then it can hold on to right here. And what you'll need to do is grab the wire You're and not supposed to put it on the center. You're supposed to keep it like this.
I'm done.
Does it
I
show
forgot
up
to
here?
turn it off.
Does it show up there?
That's awesome. Hey, here's your other piece, son. Yep, thanks. Oops.
Put it in, and then plug this in, and then something over here. Sure it slides in. Nice. Oh, and it should start going like that. Then you put this here, and then plug in all these into 5 of these. This one, this one, this one, this one, and that one.
And Brett, how did you know where to place the alligator clips in that circuit board?
I don't know. No.
I'm gonna need a step action on
So
this
it's
one.
like,
And
he just knows it without knowing.
and you put them in, all of them in,
I'm not in danger, am I right?
Not yet.
Okay, good. All right.
and there it is.
So we spent some time talking about,
Oh, they're moving.
how you have to have a full circuit or circle with the circuits for it to actually work, and how the energy has to go from the computer to the player, right? So that's why the alligator clip is attached to Brett, because energy can actually transfer through humans.
And, oh shoot, I forgot.
And then Brett, why do we need this?
You got this, and you need the Play-Doh. So you would need to break it into 5 pieces.
Because we have 5 buttons. So these kids are making their own game controller. That's essentially what he's doing. Instead of just using the game controller on the Nintendo Switch or, I don't even know much about technology. He's creating it himself. I don't know how those games work. I know technology, I don't know how the games work. I'm like, Nintendo, I don't know. I was a Super Nintendo. I'm a young PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those. Super Nintendo, that's aging me.
Rhett, we were talking earlier, have you ever played Oregon Trail?
Oh, yeah, second grade.
That's about the extent of our knowledge.
Yeah.
You gotta
Second
explain
grade.
that one.
Did it. So I know about technology, but I don't know how the game systems work. But the kids really like it because they love to play on the Nintendo or, what was it, PlayStation 5? Yeah, all them. And this allows them to play video games, but they're creating their own controller.
Then you put the up arrow and the, you can place them however you want, but I place them like this. Put the one that goes up in the top one, the one that goes left, and on the left one,
I gotta go see this.
in the left one,
Yeah.
the down here. Space one that makes it like, I think it's like, makes it like charge or something, like something like that. Put it in the space one, and then the last one, the right one, goes right here. And then when you click the Play-Doh things,
That is incredible.
So he's just made his own game controller to be able to play. And we also kind of do it as the buddy system, so we can transfer energy through metals if we wanted to. So if we had
and
a
you can
magnet.
change the stages, which have like different things in them.
This is cool.
Then you can even change the ball to a beach ball and then a bowling ball. And at this point, it's not really a thing for soccer. And then you can change all the like goals to win stuff. And then you can change the players if you want an NPC to play.
And this game's a little, I would say this controller is kind of tricky, right, Rhett?
It's kind of tricky, yeah.
Because you've got lots of buttons to work with. And the cool thing about Play-Doh is we talk about how energy is transferred through Play-Doh. And that's why we can use Play-Doh as buttons. And you could also use bananas if you wanted, because energy can transfer through bananas. Oh, yeah, a little bit. And then how some things do not transfer energy. So if we had like a piece of wooden block, the energy wouldn't transfer through that. So they get to kind of experience
That is
different
cool.
kinds of ways to transfer energy. Now we have 2 more games. We have 2 more friends I want to show. And then we were hoping you guys would want to play maybe pinball. But if not, because you want to go home, I get that too. So,
Let's see it.
all right, you guys just want to.
I taught this.
Good job.
I'm gonna have to put this all up.
You can leave it, I'll play.
I need to take some of those
Yeah,
classes.
leave
Pretty
it up.
crazy.
This is what we never talked about.
I'll just leave this.
I have no social life, Brett. I will gladly do play with this.
Connect pretty quickly.
I'll just.
And with the Makey Makey unit, there's lots of different apps that the students can pick from. So I'll teach them how to do a simple one, and then they can create, like the soccer one, I never taught the soccer one. They use the information from what they learned with an easier one, and then they have to apply that to figure out how to make it work for the other games. Explain this one, Brian. Brian's also an awesome volunteer. Thank you for helping.
This is the bongo one. You need 2 Play-Doh buttons, and you need your ground button, and you need your USB cord, and then you have to hold your earth cord, and you can play bongos.
They also have a piano one too, where you can do different keys. And then, Ryan, just touch the plastic part, not the metal part of it, and try to play it and see what happens. No, right here.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so see how it's not working? Oh,
I wasn't
touch.
holding it all.
Yeah, I
the way.
know. Touch the plastic part so we can demonstrate. Okay, now go back. So it's not working, so the kids kind of learn that plastic doesn't transfer energy, and that's why the alligator clips have the plastic. So now if he holds on to the metal part, it works again because the energy transfers. And we also sometimes partner up. So can I hold this? All right. And then Ryan, try to play the bongos. It doesn't work, but now try. Because it transfers through me to him. So we kind of spend a little bit of time talking about that too. But then some kids try on the cotton shirts and it doesn't transfer because energy doesn't transfer through cotton. Okay, Wyatt, you want to show the last one? Nice job. Wyatt, you want to show the last
Best
one?
drum player I've seen all night. Nice job.
He was gonna do the piano for you all, but there were a lot of buttons.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah. Ooh, a lot to keep track of.
Hey, Rhett, at some point you're gonna have to teach me how to kick the soccer ball though, too. Just running around.
Okay, and Wyatt can kind of explain what he's doing with this one too. So it thinks it's working because it's connected to him. He taped the clip onto him, but he doesn't have the button set up quite yet. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
So now he has 2 buttons, and if you look on the side, he changed the flipper, so it's the left arrow and the right arrow. So every time he touches the left button, the left, I guess, flipper is moving, and then the right one is working, and then you can actually change the levels too. And again, it's the same process. They kind of worked on creating circuits and transferring energy in different ways. So that one has a lot of buttons for that one.
No, it's just connected to.
But he's just doing the left and right, yep. Yep. Do you have anything you want to share about that, Wyatt? Do you like to play?
Wyatt, do you want to speak?
I get it. I don't like to too sometimes. All right.
It's a much
So
cooler
that's
use of Play-Doh. We
kind of
made
how we're doing
snowmen.
Yeah. So if you guys want to, we can set up pinball and the kids can come over and kind of show you how to do it. If you want to. No? Yeah? Yeah? All right. They're in.
Would you want to do that now, or do you want to, since we're keeping everybody, we can do the rest of the meeting, because we also have the simulator too.
Yeah, we can be through this meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll fly through the meeting and then set these things up, yes.
Hey, Wise,
You gotta show me how to kick
why
it.
don't you set that up over on the table over there?
Yes.
Why don't you set it up
Take
on
it
that
over to
table
the
there?
table over there, and then we're gonna come over and play them in a few
Set
minutes.
it up on that table over there, so we can come check it out.
Yes.
So you're gonna come and do the boring
You
stuff?
gotta show me how to kick it. How do you kick? Oh, show me later. I'm mystified.
It's the middle one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's this one.
Where? What'd you do? Oh. That's how you kick it.
And
All
I'm
right.
not even touching that, I know why.
That was
I'm not
excellent.
even touching the.
All right, thank you, boys. We'll go ahead and move on to item 5, student of the month.
Yes. Mrs. Roberts, or who's doing elementary student of the month first? Okay. We can use the podium. Yeah, you want me to move that back over? You got it? True. Aw.
Okay, so today I am happy to announce Lincoln Cowan as our student of the month. So Lincoln is in kindergarten, he is in Miss Weaver's class. And Lincoln has a whole bunch of people that are here with him. You want to wave at all of them? Wave at them, say hi guys. Okay, so when I asked Lincoln what he likes about school, he said he really likes specials. When I asked him what he would change about school, he said when he wakes up, he would just go right to lunch. His teacher nominated him. Lincoln was actually nominated by 2 teachers. So his teacher nominated him and said that Lincoln has been absolutely excelling in the classroom in the last month and longer than that. He has grown so much, and he is consistently trying his best on all of his work. He's been working so hard in the classroom and his groups. And then she also included what one of the other group teachers shared with her. The other teacher wrote that she was writing to nominate Lincoln for Student of the Month, that he has demonstrated exceptional commitment and growth in their reading group. Lincoln has been working diligently in group and making outstanding progress. He exemplifies the true growth mindset. He approaches challenges with determination and consistently works to expand his abilities. His resilience and commitment to learning serve as an inspiration to his peers. Lincoln's dedication, positive influence, and academic progress make him a deserving candidate for this recognition. That means you are working so hard, and we are so proud of you. So when I asked Lincoln what hobbies and sports he has, he says he really likes to play football, right? When I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, soldier in the Army. When I said, what is something that he is thankful for? He said, his mom and his whole family. And when I asked him, what is something that he does better than most people? He says, win. When I asked him what his idea of the perfect day is, he said he just wants to hang out with his family, and his favorite person when I asked him was Miss Weaver, his teacher, because he loves her. So we are so thrilled to be able to present to you Lincoln Cowan, and we are just so happy with how hard you are working, and we are so happy to have you at Sheridan Elementary.
All right, good evening. My name is Kent Davis, middle school principal. It's my honor to introduce our February student of the month, Kayla Dotson. Kayla is in 6th grade. Her parents are Tracy and Dean Dotson. She has one brother, Joshua. Her school activities include softball and cheer. Her favorite color is green. Her favorite food, some of her favorites include spaghetti, gummy worms. Her favorite movie is Aladdin, which is a throwback, right? Her favorite TV show is The Middle. Her favorite book is The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. Her favorite music type is worship music, and all her classes and teachers are her favorite. She was nominated by Dr. McGinnis and the middle school staff because she comes to class on time, has a positive attitude, and always participates on whatever they're doing in class. Some other things about Kayla, her favorite hobbies include crafting, cheering, and softball. Something that always can make her smile is her being around her friends. The farthest she's traveled is to Orlando, Florida, and her favorite vacation was to Disney World. So, Mom, we need to go back to Disney World. Some of her best friends include Bridget and Olivia. A few things that people don't know about her, that she's been on a hot air balloon ride. Was it scary? Yes, I know. It is a very scary thing. I think one thing about one of her talents is art. She has a job if going to school counts right now. That is your job right now in 6th grade, to go to school and be your best like you do. Great job. Keep it up. She'd love to attend Indiana University, and when she grows up, she'd like to be a dental hygienist or dentist. She's usually smiling, so again, I think that's pretty right on key. She's usually smiling. And if money was not a consideration, she would put a community pool in. So it's my honor to introduce February Student of the Month, Kayla Dotson. All right, Kayla, come on up.
So you don't have to give a speech, Kara.
Yeah, you'll be all right. All right, it's my honor to introduce March Student of the Month is Kara Watts. She's in 7th grade. Her parents are Eric and Jennifer Watts. Her siblings include Cole, Corey, and Cody. Her school activities include FFA and choir. Some of her favorites include the color blue. Favorite food is steak. Favorite candy is Sour Patch Kids. Her favorite movie is Bridge to Terabithia. Her favorite show is Stranger Things, and her favorite book is The Outsiders. Obviously, reading that right now. Favorite music is rock and pop, and her favorite class is social studies with Mr. Stum. Kara was nominated for being very kind and helpful to others. She works hard in class and answers questions. Kara is a great representation of Sheridan Middle School, is also involved in FFA as well as doing well in her schoolwork. She was nominated by Mr. Oninger, Mrs. Palika, and the staff. Some other things about Kara: she loves spending her time drawing, spending time with her friends, and learning guitar. What can always make her smile is her friends. The farthest she's traveled from Sheridan is to Medicine Park, Oklahoma. That's far away. Her favorite vacation is camping. Some of her friends include June, Victoria, Keely, and Callie. What is one thing people don't know about Kara? That she is a homebody, does not like to leave home. Some of her gifts and talents is drawing. She has a job of doing chores. One of her career goals at this time would be in marine biology. And if money was not a consideration, one thing she would change about school life or society, probably move out of Indiana into a more rural area. So, enjoying the country. So, it's my honor to introduce March Student of the Month, Kara Watts.
Yeah, our high school students working this evening, yes.
That's good.
All right. At this time, we'll open up the floor to public comment.
Do you have anybody else? Okay, we're good, sir.
Good, all right. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
If I may, before the board goes into consent agenda, if I can recognize, we had a couple donations again this month. National Financial Services on behalf of Rex Bowman, which is great, to the high school boys basketball team, and as well as, and I know it was noted earlier, but we see them a lot, Dave and Barbara Keeling have donated $500 again to just the overall Sheridan Athletic Fund. We greatly appreciate their donations. You know, we see a lot of these same names over and over again, which is wonderful. And in terms of personnel, sir, I just want to make sure Miss Josie Dickerson will be resigning at the end of the year. She's let us know early. She is going to stay home and work from home because doesn't get to stay home. You still work. And we're going to really miss Josie when she gets down at the end of the year. So that's all I had this evening, sir.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Old business.
No, sir.
No old business. We'll move on to new business.
Tonight, Mr. Davis is going to make a quick presentation. It's really just an update to the board. He's had a committee working on this for quite some time, but it's not a voting item, but we did feel it was important for the board to be in the loop, so.
I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know, I believe you received a copy of it in the packet of stuff that you get. But the high school, we've talked for a few years now, there's been just some general, I don't know if frustration is the right word, but concern about just the way final exams work. You know, a whole lot of energy goes into it, but you're covering so much material and you can't hit the rigor you want, and kids aren't as focused on it as you need. You dedicate a lot of time to it. We've just felt like it had missed its purpose. So we started a process, you know, kids weren't taking it seriously. It wasn't, there's no way for it to really guide instruction because it came at the very end. It's just like, did they get it or not? So there's a lot of questions. We had a lot of different things. We tried exemptions. Exemptions weren't working like we had hoped that they would. And so there were just all these things going on. So we started a process, and our faculty advisory council started talking in depth about it in the fall of '25. And then knowing that we would need some dedicated time, we put together a task force. And the purpose of that task force was to look at the role of final exams and see whether our current practices aligned with our educational goals, with student needs, assessment philosophy, and what we wanted was to come up with a consensus-based recommendation for something new that best supports our student learning. So our task force was put together by volunteers, and we gathered on 3 separate meetings through the month of January. We discussed the input that had been gathered prior. We talked about problems that we'd experienced with it, potential solutions. We set out some goals. We looked at the structure, and we came up with a recommendation. And that recommendation, I'll touch base on the highlights of it in a moment. We shared that back to the Faculty Advisory Council on February 12th. There was really no discussion. They're like, yeah, that looks good. Can we consider this? Can we consider that? Just some more thoughts about how it might go. And pleased that we were moving on something where there was concern instead of just being like, well, it is what we've always done. Felt like we'd really put forth some effort to resolve it. So we make you guys aware of it tonight, and then on Wednesday at the early release time that the staff has for professional development, we'll go over it with the whole staff. They all pretty much know it by now because it's kind of been shared out in layers, but we'll more officially share it out with them. And then, of course, will come the student and parent awareness that we'll have to follow as we get into the fall. So the recommendation in simple terms is we're doing away with what was traditionally known as a final exam, 70 minutes of class time or longer on the last day or last 2 days of school that they prepare for, and they spend a week preparing, studying and reviewing and all that for. They wanted, the teachers kept saying, we want to know if what we're doing is working before we get to the end. We have assessments along the way, but we want something that gives us a greater guide to that. So they felt like the best way to do that would be to replace the final exam with what we're calling quarterly exams. At the end of each quarter, they would take a quarterly exam that's comprehensive over that quarter. They would take that, and it'd be on the last 2 days. And with that, there would be the ability to have increased rigor. You're not covering quite as much material. It's boiled down to just that quarter, and it'd be worth 10% of that quarter grade. So for each quarter, 10% of whatever they're going to get is going to come from that quarter exam. And I can highlight some other it's in the packet. I don't know that I need to go over it all with you. I can answer questions about it. The other thing was there was a rule or a policy that was they must pass 2 out of the 3, meaning some first quarter, second quarter, final exam. They had to pass 2 out of those 3 to pass. Sometimes that caused problems because when you did the math, the student would have passed, but maybe they had a 58 and a 58 and a 74. Well, why did they have those 2 58s? That one test, maybe they're not a good test taker and that held back. But their average came out in the mid-60s. So you're kind of like, well, they can't pass, but sorry, the averages work. So we felt like that policy just didn't really align with the students who are showing growth. It limited them to being like, well, I'll just forget this one. I'll just worry about the next 2 and things like that. It wasn't showing consistency throughout the whole semester. So we're doing away with the pass 2 out of 3 rule. And then the final exam exemptions, I mentioned that. We felt like, yes, that'd be great for those kids who demonstrated all semester long that they know everything, but then that took away all ability to guide instruction, because then when you were looking at the exams, you had the people who hadn't done really well all semester, and then those who would even literally just be like, yeah, final exam, I passed, I don't care, and would, get a 10% on it or something like that. So we wanted to bring more ownership to it. We wanted it to guide instruction. bring about more rigor in the questions. The departments want to work collaboratively and share their exams and make sure they're hitting that level of rigor that we're seeking to increase. And with that, then, the seniors would get a little extra time. They would leave on those last 2 days of the quarter. They would leave at 1:15 at the end of the school day for them, which would give the teachers a little bit more time for that collaborative grading and going over and making sure that we are really hitting that rigor as we try to push our students forward. So again, you've got the whole handout that has all the stuff in it that's in your board packet, but if you have specific questions, I tried to include the rationale with it as well as what the changes are, so questions?
Yeah, so Rick, question that I have, really want some clarity. So if I'm a student in algebra, okay, so I want to take a quarterly exam at the end of quarter one over what's covered, then I'll take another one at the end of quarter two, correct? Will the exam at the end of quarter two have any material from quarter one to show retention?
By default, it will, because quarter two carries into it stuff from quarter one.
Okay.
So
understood.
as you're covering that content through quarter one, you're testing quarter one, as you continue through with that, the concepts and things that you've learned in quarter one are still a part of quarter two. It's not completely abandoned, continues to be incorporated into it in various ways. So it wouldn't be viewed as a exam over everything. So there may not be a question, using my biology experience, there may not be a specific question about balancing an equation, but when you get to the thing, there would be a question that if you didn't know how to balance an equation, you wouldn't be able to get to that because the depth is more.
And just so I
along the way.
understand, so if I'm a student and I fail the quarterly exam in a quarter one, okay, then what?
It's 10%, it's 10% of that quarter one grade.
Okay,
So if you had a 75 and you got a 0 on it, then it would drop you to a 65,
okay,
roughly. It's essentially the equivalent of a letter grade at 10%.
okay.
That'd be if you get a 0. I hope you wouldn't get a 0, John.
Right.
I believe in you.
Are there some requirements about what the test looks like? What kinds of questions?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the departments and the people on task force really wanted to be able to do, was be to sit down. They felt like there's a purpose between multiple choice and some of those things. But what we found was the final exams, when we looked at them, it was like, here's 100 multiple choice questions, very low depth of knowledge. A lot of it's just retention type things. So they wanted to bring in more analysis and thinking, critical thinking. They brought it up because I just kind of sat back and guided the discussion. They brought, we'd like, some writing in there, some essays to be a part of it, and not just, multiple choice or single answer things. They just want to be able to expand the rigor of it.
So how will that be determined?
The departments
The
are going to work
departments,
together.
okay.
Yeah, each department's going to work, and that was the other thing that they wanted. We want to sit down as a department, share our final exams with each other, talk about what we think is good, what we're looking for, how we can build out from that. So it's really exciting from my standpoint to not be like, you're going to do this, but to sit back and have that organically grow is fantastic.
I can close my eyes and see blue books.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Everybody knows
I
that.
like the idea of the goal of supporting the student learning. When you think about the students that are on that college track, when they get to college, they're going to have final exams. How are we going to prepare them for that whole
Right.
semester test?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. That's one of the things we talked about. In college, typically, you have a midterm and a final. That might be your only grades. I had classes that were like, you had boom and boom. We feel like this actually increases, or at least maintains, that high-stakes test, because 10% of their grade for that quarter is this test. And what we found is at the end of the final exam, there would be nothing high stakes till the very end, and then they're like, oh, I got a B, I'm good, I don't care. If I get, a low C, I'll be fine. And they just, played the game for the high-end students to be like, I just want to keep my grade, instead of worrying about what their learning here is. But with each quarter being 50% of the grade, and knowing that each quarter, I've got to get this grade to maintain my quarter grade in my next, it kind of gives a little more exposure to high-stakes tests in what we feel is a more supportive environment.
So was there discussion about the upperclassmen having a semester test so that they can have that experience?
There was not specifically about differentiating between upperclassmen or not. What I can say is that they were like, let's try this, let's see if we need to. It's not set in stone. Everybody felt like it was a great direction to move, and we'll go with it. Now, for kids taking dual credit classes and things like that, they still have to adhere to the college course.
Okay.
Some of those college courses require it, some of them don't. there's really a wide degree of what each college course requires from that teacher. Some are very specific. You can't have more than 1,000 points. You have to do this, 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 and this. And others are like, you just have to make sure you hit these things. So there's a lot of diversity within that even. So I think they'll get some of that exposure based on the courses that they're taking, especially if they're in that dual credit arraignment. And if they're taking AP, they have that AP exam sitting at the end also. So,
Thank you.
yeah, great
In-
questions.
In some sense, it seems like they're almost taking more final exams, only it's a shorter period of time and it's more rigor. So
Yeah.
to me, that seems like good preparation for
Yeah.
college.
Yeah, there was a lot of frustration with the inconsistency of final exams that were being given, because I think it was at the very end. I mean, kids are exhausted, the teachers are exhausted, let's just get this over with, was kind of, you know, just kind of like, oh, it's final exams, okay, what, you know, it just
call
kind
them
of lost.
semifinal exams.
Yeah, so I would, like I said, I was so excited as the building principals sit there and watch this grow organically. The conversations they were having were all about wanting to increase the rigor and have it guide instruction and be able to push students farther to prepare them for that next step, whatever it might be, whether it's college, career, or military. So it was exciting.
Couple of logistics questions.
Yes.
So for AP courses, will this meet, like, is there a certain requirement we have with our partner? Will this meet the requirement? For okay.
Yeah.
And then, it's been a long day, so if my math
You're-
is off, I'm sorry. So, each quarter in, you have a quarter exam is 10% of the quarter grade. So if I have 100 and I decide not to take it, I get a 90. And I do that the second, and I have two 90s, you combine those, and I can still average a 90 by not taking the
You
exam?
could, but the kids who are getting 90s aren't gonna
Sure.
do
Yeah.
that. But
No, I'm
in
just,
in theory, you could,
Okay.
yes.
all right,
Yeah, 180 out of 200 would be 90%.
okay.
Yeah, so in theory, that's still possible.
And help me understand, you can opt out?
No, not anymore.
Anymore.
Okay,
That's the change.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
and that was another aspect. This gets into a deep
Good.
dive on the mathematics of grade analysis. So when I say it, you might be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I'll be more than glad to explain it to you later. But the quarter grades
Okay.
are rounded up to no lower than a 50% to give equal weighted basis between an A, a B, a C, and a D, to give everything a 10% gap. It's best practice in education world to do that. One of the frustrations was the kid who just goes in and it's like, yeah, okay, final exam, whatever, here's 15 out of 100 on it. Well, the way in the previous system, that would have been rounded up to a 50. And that was frustrating for that one assessment to do that, to show that academically. So this again provides a little more depth to it.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
What is the trend in Indiana schools in this department?
It varies. We did a little study and I shared it with the teachers in the group. You've kind of got all across the board. You've got some schools who've gone completely away with final exams. You have some schools that do like a rolling grade all the way through the semester and have a final project. You have some schools that are still doing traditional things. I didn't find any specifically that were doing this that came out on my, through my internet searches. It's possible that some are. But it's kind of all over the place. There's kind of the pendulum's kind of swinging back and forth. Some saying we need to do more of it. Some say we need to do less. Same with the percent or weight of it. They wanted to try 10% right now. They talked as much as 20%, but then they felt for the students who have special needs or are just really bad test takers, but they know it, that, ooh, 20% each quarter, that's a lot on one exam. So we felt like, let's try 10%, see how it's looking. Does that have to get adjusted to 15 or 13? I don't know yet.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you're looking at it and considering all these things.
So then this framework will be in like the syllabus for each class?
Yeah. Yep.
I want to say too, I mean, obviously, we provide the curriculum and approve that part of it, and then you're in charge of administering that curriculum and how we do it. I want to make sure that we keep pressure as well, because we want to produce students who go out in the workforce or military or college who are used to pressure that's going to happen in that, because if you fail a project, you get fired.
Right.
Right? If you fail a test, you might fail it. If you don't do a job right, you're going to get reassigned. I find it important to still have that pressure on there too, that we know that, hey, we must meet standards in order to be successful. So
Yeah.
I don't want to see this downgrade that and go, hey,
That-
it's okay, we're only 10%. I could fail.
No,
that.
I
Move
agree.
on.
I think actually this,
It does the opposite.
based upon what we see, this does that. This puts more pressure on the kids than what they've had.
So-
I'm fully confident in that, 100%, no doubt, that they're gonna feel more pressure from this than what they did with the final exam
And I don't
previously.
want to like exhaust students, I'm just trying to say, hey,
Yeah.
when you get out of this school and into the community, there are
Yeah,
standards. that
results
must-
matter, and you
So,
have to meet
exactly.
expectations. Sure.
So, okay, that's all I want
So
to make sure of.
then, will you kind of take a glance back at this, like halfway through the year and then year in?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll pull that task force together to look at it after the first quarter, at the semester, kind of look, get some input from the teachers, how they feel like it's going, the feedback they're getting.
Yeah.
Is it working, is it not working, what tweaks do we maybe need to make? So yeah, the excitement, again, was the discussion of guiding instruction, increasing rigor, keeping the pressure, because, one of the suggestions was just do away with them. It's a waste of time. That was a suggestion that was discussed, and we're like, no, they need that experience. So we built that into it, in fact, more frequently in some ways. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you guys.
All right, we'll move on to item 10, superintendent report.
Sure, and I'll go, normally take a little longer, I'll go real quick tonight so we can get to our kiddo projects over there. Basically, I want to recognize Coach Bowen and the basketball team. What an outstanding season they had. Tough loss to a very good team Saturday night, but an incredible season. I want to thank Mrs. Love, the APs, the principals, everybody on her team. This is testing semester, and there's a lot of organization with counselors and everybody that goes into that, so I never want to shortchange the amount of behind-the-scenes work that goes into all our testing season. Great job by the band last week, choir. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, choir this week, band was last week, coming up for their performances. And also congratulations to Leslie Price and Tyler, who had a beautiful baby girl on Friday night. So she'll be out for a while, as you guys know, but it's where we're at. Yes, sir.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we'll move on to board member comments. Nancy, we'll start with you.
I'll yield my time.
Same.
Dan?
Real quick, a couple points. Thank you for everyone who stayed for this too. Students, thank you for coming out and presenting to us. I loved it. I got a chance to attend the Boone County Chamber dinner too. Angie V was out there. She was recognized as our Boone County Teacher of the Year for Sheridan. So fantastic, and good job and a good season for the boys. That's all I got.
Yep, no, yeah, along with the basketball and really all of our events here, I'm just blown away by the community support, and our community will go anywhere to support any of our students. So it's a lot of fun. For the most part Saturday night, but I was excited to see, our community, the band was there. That was noticed and appreciated. So, yeah, ready for it to get warm. I also want to mention about the simulator over here and how excited I am to have that opportunity for CTE students. And I want to speak to how realistic that thing is, because I wandered in and jumped on it before the board meeting, and it really felt just like the excavator at work, where I dug a rock up and I missed the bin that I was supposed to put it in, then I damaged the bucket. So it's just like at work. So it's pretty cool. So, but really just a fantastic opportunity, and I appreciate the work that the team put in to get the
Yes.
grant for that. So.
Not only the team has done it, but yeah, every bit of that and everything coming with it is covered by a grant and outside funding.
Absolutely.
And I was hoping Mr. Davis might turn it on for everybody too, as we see the kids' stuff as well while we're
Yeah.
over there, so. Then you guys too can damage a truck if you want to.
You won't duck our pay.
All right, I'll leave this with, my kids need to go home and go to bed. Our next meeting is April 13th at 6:30, same room. I will look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.